On the outskirts of a small town stood an old, large house. In that house lived a man, his wife, and his stepdaughter. The stepdaughter's name was Sarah. She was incredibly beautiful, so much so that people would stop and stare when they saw her. But her stepmother and stepsisters didn't like Sarah. They constantly tormented her, made her do heavy chores, and falsely accused her of things she never did. From dawn to dusk, Sarah had to cook meals, clean the house, and wash clothes. If there was even the slightest mistake in her work, her stepmother would send her to bed without dinner. "You're just wasting food here," they would say. "You're only living here because of your father's mercy. Be grateful for that." Sarah quietly endured everything. Her heart wanted to complain to her father, but he was always busy with work outside and came home exhausted. Her stepmother spoke very sweetly in front of him, as if Sarah were her own daughter. One day, overwhelmed by the constant torment, Sarah began losing weight from sadness and stress. The daily taunts, hunger, and neglect broke her spirit. Every night she would go up to the roof, look at the stars, and wonder if she could find happiness somewhere else. One night she made a decision. The wilderness would be better than this house. She took out her small bag and packed 2 pieces of bread, a water bottle, and her mother's old bracelet, the only memento she had from her real mother. In the darkness of night, Sarah quietly left home and headed toward the deep forest. At first, she was scared because strange sounds echoed through the woods, owls hooting, crickets chirping, and occasionally the footsteps of some animal. But the forest air gave her some comfort. She walked for hours. Blisters formed on her feet, and hunger gnawed at her stomach. Finally, she reached a large boulder where a small stream was flowing. She drank from it and washed her face. Suddenly, a loud sound came from the bushes. Sarah turned to see a beast standing before her. It was massive, with red eyes and sharp teeth. But strangely, there was no evil in its eyes. The beast roared and asked, "Who are you, human child? What are you looking for in my forest?" Sarah replied in a frightened voice, "I'm just looking for peace. Everyone at home torments me." The beast sensed Sarah's pain. It was large and frightening, but not truly evil at heart. In fact, it too had once been persecuted by humans. When it was young, the townspeople had driven it and its family from the forest simply because they looked different. "If you want to stay here, you can live in my cave," the beast said. "But there are many dangers in this forest. You'll have to stay with me." Sarah nodded. She didn't have any other choice. The beast led her to its cave. From the outside, the cave looked scary, but inside it was very clean and tidy. There was a fragrant smell of flowers, and glowing stones were embedded in the walls. The beast gave Sarah food, wild fruits, honey, and some herbs. "This is my special potion." The beast showed her a small bottle. "It's made from herbs and gives me strength." Day by day, a strange friendship developed between Sarah and the beast. Sarah would gather firewood for it, clean the cave, and the beast would protect her from the forest's dangers. The beast taught her the forest paths, which fruits were edible, and how to avoid wild animals. Sarah began to feel that she was much happier here than at her home. No one taunted her, no one sent her to bed hungry. The beast would sometimes tell her old stories of the forest. But then a problem arose. The beast's potion ran out. When the potion was depleted, the beast began to weaken. The brightness in its eyes grew dim. Its hands started shaking, and in its confusion, it couldn't recognize anyone. Sometimes it would growl at Sarah, as if it didn't know who she was. Sarah asked fearfully, "Are you okay? What's happening to your strength?" The beast said in a weak voice, "My strength came from a mystical totem in this forest, but it was stolen long ago. The potion only kept me alive for a few days. Now even that's gone." And the beast collapsed to the ground. Sarah's heart sank. She knew that if she didn't do something, the beast would die. And then she would be alone in this forest. "Tell me where that totem is," Sarah said. "I'll find it." The beast said in a faint voice, "To the north, beyond the Black Mountains. There's a hidden cave. A serpent lives there. She stole my totem, but don't go. She's very dangerous." But Sarah's decision was firm. She prepared her bag, packed some fruit, filled her water bottle, and said goodbye to the beast. "I'll come back," she promised. Sarah set off toward the north. The journey was very difficult. She had to cross high mountains, traverse deep valleys, and sometimes the path was so narrow that one wrong step could make her fall. On the third day, she reached the Black Mountains. The scene there was terrifying. The mountains were so dark they looked burnt. There was a strange smell in the air, and clouds always covered the sky. Finally, Sarah spotted the cave. It was an old, crumbling cavern with strange markings at its entrance. Sarah took a deep breath and stepped inside. It was dark inside, but blue light glowed from the walls. In the center was a large chamber, and in its middle sat a statue. This was the totem Sarah was looking for. Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Who dares to enter my home?" Sarah turned to see a serpent standing before her. Her face was beautiful, but her eyes were very fierce and frightening. "I've come to take that totem," Sarah said, gathering her courage. The serpent laughed. "Little girl, do you know how powerful this totem is? I won't just give it to you." "Then what do I have to do?" Sarah asked. The serpent said, "I have 3 questions. If you answer them correctly, I'll give you the totem. But if you answer wrong, you'll become a stone statue forever." Sarah nodded. She had no other choice. The first question was, "What is it that gives but never diminishes?" Sarah thought. Then she remembered how the beast had given her love without expecting anything in return. "Love," Sarah answered. The second question was, "What can be seen even in darkness?" Sarah thought again. She remembered that even when she was most troubled, she still had hope that things could get better. "Hope," Sarah said. The third and final question was, "What grows the more you share it?" This was the hardest question. Sarah thought deeply. Then she remembered that when she had helped the beast, her own happiness had doubled. "Joy?" Sarah gave her final answer. The serpent smiled. "You are very wise, little girl. Take this totem." Sarah picked up the totem and began her journey back. Along the way, she often felt she had lost her way, but the totem always showed her the right path. Finally, she returned to the beast's cave. The beast had grown very weak, but as soon as Sarah placed the totem near it, its strength began to return. The beast jumped up with joy. "You saved my life, Sarah." From then on, Sarah and the beast lived happily in the forest. Sarah learned that a real family is one that loves you, not necessarily the one you're born into. And the beast learned that friendship can come in any form. The story's ending teaches us that true love and friendship can overcome any obstacle.